All right, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling something that is, let's be honest, one of the most stressful experiences any parent can go through, a court-ordered custody evaluation. My goal here is to give you a real, actionable playbook, something that cuts through the noise and the fear and helps you navigate this whole thing with a lot more confidence. So, let's get right to it.
So you're facing one of these evaluations. And if you're here, I'm guessing you're feeling pretty overwhelmed. Anxious, maybe even a little terrified? Yeah, that is completely 100% normal. The stakes are just sky high, and the whole process can feel so confusing and invasive, right? But here's the thing. Having a solid plan can change everything, and that's exactly what we're going to build together, step by step.
Okay, first things first. Before we get into any of the tactics, we have to make a huge mindset shift. And honestly, if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. This is not therapy. It's a forensic evaluation. Understanding that difference? It's a total game changer. It's going to shape how you handle absolutely everything from here on out.
So what's the big deal? Well, look at it this way. Therapy is all about you. It's your safe space for healing, for support, and it's highly confidential. But a forensic evaluation? Nope. That's for the court. The evaluator isn't your therapist. Think of them more like a data gatherer for the judge. Their only mission is to answer questions about the child's best interests. And, this is critical, what you say has limited confidentiality. It's all likely going into a report that the judge is going to read. Huge difference, right?
Okay, so now that we've got that mindset locked in, let's get practical. Let's get tactical. Your mission, really, is to present your case in a way that's organized, neutral, and just packed with facts. And we're going to do that by creating a powerful tool we'll call your best interests file.
And don't worry, this isn't as intimidating as it sounds. It really breaks down into 3 simple steps. First, you're going to get your hands on that court order. You need to know the exact rules of the game, right? The deadlines, the scope, all of it. Second, you create a binder. Physical, digital, whatever works for you, just get everything organized in one place. And third, you gather the proof. We're talking hard, factual documents that tell the real story. Now, let's look at what actually goes in that binder. All right, here's the blueprint. You'll want to have tabs for all the key stuff. The history of the parenting schedule, school records, think attendance, report cards, emails from teachers, and of course, medical records. You also want to show what your child's day-to-day life is like. This is where you really put that facts over feelings idea into action. See, instead of just saying, I provide a stable routine, you can pull out the school attendance record that shows perfect attendance. That's the proof. That's what lands.
Now this right here, this is your golden rule, your mantra. For every single point you want to make, it's got to be date plus the event plus the proof. That's it. You have to strip out all the adjectives, all the emotional language. Forget words like terrible or trying to diagnose the other parent as a narcissist. That stuff just doesn't work. Instead of saying they're always unreliable, you say, on October 15th, the other parent was scheduled for school pickup. Here's the email from the school showing the child wasn't picked up. See the difference? It's just facts. It's verifiable. And honestly, it is so much more powerful.
So, you've got your file built, it's organized, it's factual, awesome. Now, your focus is going to shift to communication. And we're talking about 2 of the most high-stakes conversations you're going to have in this entire process. One with your child, and the other with the evaluator. Let's talk about how to handle both of them. When it comes to talking to your child, your #1 job, your only job really, is to protect them from all the adult pressure. You have to trust that evaluators are really good at spotting when a child has been coached. It always backfires, so please don't do it. All you need to say is something simple like, you can be totally honest, you're not in any trouble. Then just focus on keeping their routines as normal and steady as possible. And whatever you do, do not grill them afterwards and ask, so what did you say? That puts them in such a terrible spot. Now for the evaluator. Remember, this is a professional process. You absolutely have the right, and you should, ask some clarifying questions right at the start. It's actually a great idea to email these questions beforehand so you have everything in writing. You want to know things like, what are the exact questions the court asked you to answer? What kind of methods will you be using? And what are the limits of confidentiality? Getting these answers up front just clears away so much of the uncertainty and shows you're engaged and taking this seriously. All right, we've talked a lot about what to do, but you know, what not to do can be just as important. There are a few really common pitfalls that well-meaning parents fall into, and they can seriously hurt their case. So let's walk through them so you can steer clear. Okay, here are the big red flags. First, don't be a case dumper. Just handing over 1,000 unorganized pages screams chaos. Second, stop playing armchair psychologist. Stick to the facts you can see, not diagnoses you found online. Third, every single complaint has to have a "so what" for the child. It's not enough to blame the other parent, you have to explain how that behavior impacts the child. Also be consistent. If your story changes, that's a huge problem. And finally, this is a big one. Don't pretend you're perfect. Acknowledging your own areas for growth isn't a weakness, it's a sign of maturity. It shows you're self-aware.
I know. This is a lot to take in. It can feel totally overwhelming. So, to make this super practical, let's put it all into a simple 30-day game plan. A timeline that'll give you structure and help you feel in control so you're not scrambling at the last minute.
So here's how it breaks down. In those first couple of weeks, you're basically in gather mode. Get that court order, start building your timeline of events, and request all those records we talked about. Then, as you get closer, you'll finalize that awesome best interests file you've built. In the final week, it's all about practice. Practice answering questions calmly and directly. Focus on keeping things at home super calm and reassuring for your child. And then, for the big day, just a few simple things. Be on time, answer only the question that was asked, and please remember this. It is 100% okay to just say, "I don't know." It's so much better than guessing. Look, if all of this feels like too much to remember, just burn this one single idea into your brain. Let this be your guiding light, your North Star through this whole process. Before you submit a single document or say a single word, ask yourself, does this tie directly to my child's needs, or is this just about an old argument with my ex? Everything, and I mean everything, needs to be about the child.
And that really brings us to the final, most important question you need to ask yourself. Yes, you're going to use events from the past as your proof, as your evidence, but your focus, your energy, your entire case, it needs to be pointed toward the future. The court isn't there to settle old scores. They're there to build the best possible future for your kid. So take a hard look at everything you've prepared and ask yourself, honestly, is this all about the past, or is it truly, genuinely focused on my child's future?